Welcome to Stoic Tips. Why do so many married women secretly crave adventure outside their relationship? Is it boredom, loneliness, or is it something deeper, something ancient, something the Stoics warned us about centuries ago? Today, we're diving into a truth that's as uncomfortable as it is enlightening. This isn't just about marriage, it's about human nature, happiness, and the choices we make when no one is watching. Let's get one thing clear. This isn't about judgment. We're not here to shame, blame, or point fingers. We're here to understand. Because when someone makes a choice we don't comprehend, like a married woman seeking something outside her relationship, our first instinct is to label. She's selfish. She's ungrateful. She doesn't love her partner. But Stoicism teaches us to pause and ask, what's really going on here? And what can we learn from it? So today, we explore this complex topic through the lens of Stoic philosophy. Not to excuse, but to illuminate. We'll talk about desire, expectation, and the timeless human quest for meaning. Let's begin. Why do people step outside their relationships? It's easy to say someone's bored, lonely, or discontent, but human behaviour is rarely that simple. When someone seeks adventure outside marriage, it's often not about sex or excitement. It's about a longing for freedom, for connection, for aliveness, for something that feels lost. Marriage is often entered with fairy tale expectations. We expect passion, connection, and permanence. But reality, it's messy. It requires effort. Routines replace novelty. Conversations become predictable. Passion cools. And for some, that shift feels like suffocation. What would the Stoics say? The Stoics taught that happiness doesn't come from anything outside of us. Not from our partner, not from status, not even from love, as we often define it. True contentment comes from within. From the ability to control our reactions, align with virtue, and live in accordance with nature. They believed much of our suffering comes from a single source, wanting what we don't have. This kind of desire, epithumia, is insatiable. It's the craving that says, "This isn't enough, I need more." Example, the leaky bucket. Imagine a woman who's married but feels unseen, unfulfilled. She chases new experiences, an affair, a secret life, a thrilling distraction. And maybe, for a while, it works. She feels alive again. But soon, the novelty fades. She's left emptier than before because she tried to pour water into a leaky bucket. The bucket isn't broken because of her relationship. It's leaking because of how she's relating to herself. The Stoics would say, this is the result of misplaced desire. The solution? Not chasing more, but learning to see enough in what already is. They called this ataraxia, inner peace. It's the calm that comes from no longer being ruled by craving. So, how do we get there? That's where Stoic practice comes in. One of the most powerful tools the Stoics gave us is something called negative visualization, premeditatio malorum. They taught us to reflect on what we could lose, to imagine daily the absence of what we currently take for granted. Why? Because this shifts our perspective. It helps us appreciate what we already have before it's gone. That partner you're growing distant from? Imagine life without them. Imagine never sharing a laugh again. No more quiet mornings, no shared memories, just silence. It sounds dark, but it's meant to bring us into gratitude, not grief. When we contemplate loss, we learn to cherish presence. Final thoughts. When people step outside a relationship, it's not always about betrayal. Sometimes it's a sign of an inner misalignment, a disconnect from meaning, from purpose, from self. The Stoics remind us, you can't fill a void inside by adding more from the outside. So instead of asking, why would someone do that? Ask, what am I craving? And can I meet that need in a virtuous way? Because in the end, fulfillment isn't found in the thrill of the new. It's found in the discipline to stay present, the courage to grow within, and the wisdom to know when your restlessness is not a call for escape, but a call to go deeper into yourself. Negative visualization. The Stoic art of appreciating what you have. What if the key to deep gratitude wasn't having more, but imagining life with less? Negative visualization is a powerful Stoic exercise that invites you to do something that might sound counterintuitive. Imagine losing the very things you love. It might sound bleak at first, but here's why it works. When we imagine life without something we take for granted, we begin to truly see its value. Let's say you're in a relationship. Maybe you're feeling bored, underappreciated, or disconnected. Instead of focusing on what's missing, try this. Close your eyes. Now imagine waking up and your partner is no longer there. Not because of a fight, not because of anger, just gone. No more shared mornings, no more quiet laughs, no more familiar presence beside you. How does that feel? What would you miss the most? What do you wish you had said or done? This isn't about being morbid, it's about clarity. When we stop taking people and moments for granted, we begin to truly live in the present. We stop chasing more and start cherishing what already surrounds us. A lesson from Seneca. Seneca, one of the wealthiest men in ancient Rome, practiced negative visualization every day. He would imagine losing his wealth, his status, even his loved ones. Not to scare himself, but to sharpen his gratitude. By doing this, he trained his mind not to crave endlessly, but to appreciate deeply. So if your relationship feels dull or distant, don't rush to escape it. First, pause and reflect. If they were gone tomorrow, what would I regret not saying today? The trap of external validation. Now let's shift gears. One of the most common reasons people seek attention outside their relationship is this: a hunger for validation. We all want to feel seen, appreciated, desired, and when that attention fades at home, the outside world becomes tempting. Flirting at work, swiping on apps, chasing compliments. It feels exciting. It feels alive. But here's the truth. External validation is a drug. It works fast, but it never lasts. The Stoics warned against building your sense of self on anything unstable. They called this dangerous craving prosophe, a mind constantly chasing impressions and reactions. True confidence, they believed, comes from within. A modern example. Imagine a woman in a marriage where she feels invisible. Her husband no longer compliments her. She starts to feel like her spark is gone, so she begins seeking attention. Maybe subtle, maybe not. And for a while it works. She feels seen again. But here's the problem. That feeling is borrowed, and as soon as it fades, she needs another hit. Until she validates herself from within, she'll keep searching in all the wrong places. Stoic self-discipline, the power of choice. So how do we break the cycle? Through self-discipline, the backbone of Stoic virtue. The Stoics taught that while we can't control what happens around us, we can control how we respond. Let's return to our example. A woman feels distant in her marriage. Then she meets someone new, someone who makes her feel alive again. Temptation arises. At that moment, she has a choice. Give in to desire, or pause and ask, am I trying to fill a void, or am I honouring what I truly value? This is where self-discipline steps in. It's not about denying feelings, it's about not being ruled by them. The Epictitus mindset. Epictetus was born into slavery and rose to become a legendary Stoic teacher. His secret? Master your impulses. and you master your life. He taught that true freedom isn't doing whatever you feel. It's having the strength to choose what's right over what's easy. Modern society and the illusion of more. Here's the final piece of the puzzle. The world we live in makes all of this harder. Everywhere we turn, we're told we need more. More success, more passion, more excitement. Relationships, too, are marketed like movies. Perfect, passionate, effortless. But real love? It's not a highlight reel. It's quiet. It's patient. It's work. And when our real lives don't match the fantasy, we're quick to think something's wrong. But maybe nothing is wrong. Maybe we've just forgotten how to value the ordinary. And maybe, just maybe, the spark we're looking for isn't out there. It's hidden in the depth we've yet to explore right where we are. Final thought. You don't need more to feel whole. You need clarity. You need discipline. And above all, you need presence. So try it tonight. Don't scroll. Don't complain. Just sit beside your partner. Hold their hand. And remember, one day, this moment will only exist in memory. Let that be your wake-up call. Comment below. I practice gratitude through presence. I choose depth over distraction. Welcome to Stoic Tips, where we don't escape life. We learn to live it fully. You're not missing out. You're being tricked. Sometimes it feels like we're missing out, like everyone else has a better relationship, a more exciting life. But here's the truth. The Stoics believed that feeling. It's an illusion. They called it fantasia, false impressions. It's the idea that our minds are constantly deceived by appearances, by emotions, by perception. Just think about social media. What we see are highlight reels, filtered, curated moments. And yet, we compare. We start to wonder, why doesn't my relationship feel like that? But what you're seeing, it's not real. It's a carefully crafted story meant to trigger envy, desire, and FOMO. How do we break free? The Stoics would say, focus on what's real. Focus on your life, your values, your relationships. Don't let society or Instagram define what happiness should look like for you. What Marcus Aurelius did every night. Marcus Aurelius, emperor of Rome and Stoic philosopher, would write in his journal. He reflected on his choices, his actions, and whether he lived in alignment with his values. This was his way of staying grounded. He didn't chase trends, he chased truth. So if you're feeling overwhelmed by what the world expects, take a step back. Ask yourself, what do I truly want? Not what gets likes, not what looks good in photos, but what feels right to you. Amor fati, the power of loving your fate. Let's talk about one of the most transformative Stoic ideas, amor fati, Latin for love your fate. This concept is simple, but powerful. Don't just accept what happens to you. Embrace it, choose it, let it shape you. Back to our story. Let's revisit the woman who feels stuck in her marriage. She's tempted to look elsewhere, for excitement, for validation, for escape. But instead, she chooses to say, this is my life, this is my relationship, and I'm going to make the best of it. This doesn't mean tolerating abuse or staying in something truly harmful, but it does mean taking responsibility for your own happiness. It means looking inward instead of always chasing something outside yourself. Zeno's shipwreck. Zeno, the founder of Stoicism, was once a wealthy merchant. Then he lost everything in a shipwreck. Most people would fall apart. Zeno didn't. Instead, he said, "Fortune has done me a favour. Now I can focus on philosophy." And from that loss, he built a legacy. The real source of happiness. Here's the hard truth. No relationship can make you happy if you're not already at peace with yourself. The Stoics understood this better than anyone. A fulfilling relationship doesn't come from finding the perfect partner. It comes from being the kind of person who doesn't need perfection to feel whole. It's about accepting what you can't control and focusing on what you can. It's about choosing to love what is, not endlessly chasing what isn't. Ask yourself this: if you're feeling stuck or tempted to seek happiness outside your relationship, pause and ask, what am I really looking for? Excitement, validation, freedom? Then ask, can I find that within myself? Because here's the thing, the moment you stop looking for someone else to complete you, that's the moment you become truly free. Control what you can. Let go of the rest. In the end, the choices we make, whether it's staying faithful or seeking something new, all come down to this: can we understand and control our own desires? Stoicism teaches us we can't control the world, but we can control how we respond to it. And that is real power. One final thought. If you take one thing from this video, let it be this: happiness isn't something you find out there. It's something you build right here, inside. And once you truly understand that, your relationships and your entire life will start to look very different. If this resonated with you, hit subscribe, because the journey to self-understanding is lifelong, and you don't have to walk it alone.